Stormtrooper twice lined up in rows. Let's go! Reviewing each one with the passion it shows. It's so plastic to metal, he knows them so well. Stormtrooper swagger, his story to tell. Tune in for Bert, he's the toy expert. Let's go! From action to arcade.
Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Batman movie Batmobile, and I love this toy. This particular Batmobile was originally released in 1989 by ToyBiz and originally retailed for approximately $25. And this is such a cool Batmobile. Think about it. This is the first movie Batmobile that we ever got, and it is really cool. So let's get it over to the table and let's go check it out.
Batman's battle against crime never ends, and now you can bring the action home.
Batman, ha-ha, you missed. Yeah, but I only missed once. You can't escape, Joker. Just watch if you can. You won't be alone for long.
And in the Batcave,
No criminal can hide from Batman. Batman, gotta run to jail.
each item sold separately from ToyBiz.
And here we have the 1989 ToyBiz Batmobile up close, and I absolutely adore this car. Now, while this may not be the most accurate representation of the Tim Burton or Michael Keaton Batmobile, it's still one of those kind of like a kind of a car for me, because this was the first one, and this car actually does some really cool stuff that we haven't seen since, and we're gonna get into every bit of that. But let's first address, let's look at the size, and it's a really good size. This vehicle is approximately about 13.5 inches in length. Actually, if we go back to the back of the wing right here, we're looking at about 14.5 inches all the way to the front right there. And of course, height wise, we're looking at about 4 inches at the top of the wings here in the back. Very cool looking car, and again, it's a really good representation of that Tim Burton Batmobile. But let's address the glaring thing right here, that if you're not familiar with this car, you're probably looking at wondering, hey, what the heck? And that is the missing roof. So this car is a convertible, which of course we know it's not correct, but I think it's very cool, right? Because as we're looking at this car, this is the first time that anybody made a toy of this particular model Batmobile, and we were coming from a time when Batmobiles were convertibles, right? We had the 66 Barris Batmobile, right? The Adam West Batmobile. And then we also had the 84 Superpowers Batmobile, and we saw, which was very similar to the Barris car, and we would see the Batmobile in cartoons and in all of these iterations and representations of the Batmobile. The Batmobile was always a convertible, right? Even in a cartoon, you'd see them like run. They would come running from the back of the car and jump in, right? So this was coming from a time when the Batmobile was very commonly a convertible. So to take this car and make it a convertible, I think was actually a good thing, a smart thing, because we're looking at this in terms of toys, right? You know that you're selling this to kids, and kids are going to want to put their figures into the Batmobile. So by leaving it as a convertible, I think that it was a good move, because you can get your figures in and out, you could play with it, whatnot. And again, we were coming from that era of the convertible Batmobile. So yeah, I think it's actually a cool thing. Now, back when I first started getting into 3D printing, I really thought about it. I considered making a custom top for this to kind of just make a little roof for it. I thought about it for a second, but honestly, we have several others. We have plenty of other Michael Keaton Batmobiles that have the roof, right? This is the only one that's a convertible, and I think it's just one of those things that makes it unique. So I changed my mind. I'm like, for a second I thought about making the roof, but I was like, you know what? Leave it convertible. I think it's cool. Also, we have 2 seats. Check that out. This is something that, again, we were coming from that era where the toys had 2 seats. The 84 Superpowers Batmobile had 2 seats. The toys of the Barris or the Adam West 66 car had 2 seats. So this car also had 2 seats. And after this car, when the license reverted back to Kenner, and pretty much ever since, Every Batmobile we get is a one-seater, except I think maybe McFarlane made a Keaton Batmobile with 2 seats. I'm not sure because I don't have it, but I think there might be another one now with 2 seats. But before that, this was the last time we got a Batmobile with 2 seats. So that's actually really, really cool. So going around all the car just to look at all of the details. With the exception of the missing roof, we're looking at, again, that Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batmobile. Looking very cool. Of course, done all in black. We got the Batman logo here, a sticker on the side right there. I think it's kind of cheesy, but honestly, it adds to the charm. Really cool Bat logos done in silver right there on the wheels. Those look really, really nice. Coming around to the back right here, we got the details are molded in, but no paint, no stickers, none of that. But you got your tail lights and whatnot. You got your afterburner right there. Now, very, very cool. This Batmobile has a trunk. Check that out. You can actually open that up, and there is a trunk in there, which is really, really neat. And I typically use it for I store the accessories for my ToyBiz Batman. I store these in here. You can put in it, you got enough room, you can put an entire figure in there. I mean, you can go in, let's see, how far can I go? Yeah, so I went in that far. So that is about, let's see. So you got about 4.5, 5 inches right here that you can, so you got plenty of room in there to put stuff in, which is nuts. It's very cool. So again, I keep my accessories for my ToyBiz Batman in there, in that little baggie. I also keep the missiles for this car, because this car does have a missile launching gimmick that I'm going to show you here in a moment. And of course, when it's up on my shelf, I don't leave the missiles in because I don't want the springs just being stressed over time. So when it's up on the shelf, I take the missiles out and I store them in the trunk, which is really cool. The fact that you get a trunk for the Batmobile. Very, very cool. So going all the way around again to the sides right here, you got the intakes and the details are molded in and whatnot. You got your turbine right there. You got these lights molded in. And of course, these may not be 100% accurate, but it's really cool. The fact that they're molded in and detailed in silver, I think is really, really cool. Going back to the interior, let's check this out. We got some sticker detail right there for the dash. We got a working steering wheel. We can actually manipulate that. And then we've got this little gear shifter right here. And as you can see, when we use that, when we pull up on this, that actually activates our gimmick, our missile launching gimmick. So again, when we pull on that, these missile launchers are going to pop up right here. Again, where in the movie, this is where the machine guns came out. So they use that to install missile launchers. The fact that it's on a little handle, I think it's absolutely awesome. And again, you pull them up until it gives you a little bit of resistance and they stay right there. Now, if you continue pull up on them and pull them up all the way, then they're going to fire off. And as you can see, they got quite a bit of force. And here's your missiles right here. Now, these are cool because the spring is actually inside of the missile. Check that out. So in here is a very simple mechanism. It's a little lever that moves up and actually just kind of pushes onto where the missile is being held, and then the missile does the work of launching itself out. And I think it's ingenious. It's really, really cool the way that these work. And again, to load these up, all you got to do is just slot these guys in here and then just push them in until they click and then drop them in and you are ready to go. Again, really, really cool. So let's get Batman right here, and we have our ToyBiz Batman right there. This is the one with the retractable belt right there, as you can see. Very, very cool little figure. I just think these ToyBiz Batman toys were so, so cool. And we'll get him in there, put him in the seat. He fits very nicely. We'll get our cape straightened out. And there you go. Batman is ready to patrol the streets of Gotham and fight crime. And you can still reach in there and access the missiles, and you can still launch them and all of that. So that still works really, really well with the figure in there as well. It's, it's a real shame that we never got a Vicky Vale figure that we could put in the Batmobile here with Batman. That would have been really, really neat. And backing the camera up just a bit so we can do some size comparisons. Let's start off with a couple of modern comparisons. Here's the 1989 ToyBiz Batmobile next to the Spin Masters 89 Batmobile. This is the one from the Flash movie, so you can see what the two of them look like together. And this mold by the Spin Masters one, this modern one, is absolutely beautiful. Oh, my only real gripe with this one is just the size. It's just a little too small when compared to my other Batmobiles. But yeah, it looks really, really good together. So there you go. So you can see what the two of them look like. And then here he is, or here it is, with the also Spin Masters. This is the Batman Forever Batmobile, which is kind of huge, and I'm having a hard time fitting them both in there. There you go. Again, this is with the modern one, right? So this is the one that just came out in 2025, next to the 89. So you can see what the two of them look like together, and they scale really, really well together. But now let's take it back and do the retro comparison. So again, the 89 ToyBiz Batmobile next to the 97, I think it was, the Batman and Robin, the Clooney Batmobile by Kenner. So you can see what the two of them look like together. And yeah, I love this car. I mean, I love all Batmobiles, and you know, you can say what you want about the movie. I absolutely love this car, and they look really, really cool together. And finally, for our last comparison, let's see if we can even fit this into the same shot because it's so huge. Here is the 89 ToyBiz Batmobile with what I consider to be the definitive 89 Batmobile toy. This is the 1991 Batmobile Batmissile by Kenner, which is considerably bigger. I think it's more in scale with that size figure. You've seen my review on this one. I've actually done 2 videos on this. I think this is the absolute definitive 89 Batmobile toy. This thing is absolutely stunning. But again, this is the original. This is the first one, the one by ToyBiz. Like, wow, you just gotta have that. But there you go. So you can see what the two of them look like together. Now, before we close this out, there is one more feature that I almost forgot to show you, and this is probably the one that was the favorite for parents of the 80s and 90s. It is the realistic engine sound. Because everybody knows that back in the 80s and 90s, that's exactly what engine sounded like. So there you go. There's a little piece of plastic that comes out of the car and it goes into the wheel. And it's got, basically this is the equivalent of if ever when you were a kid, you put a card or like a plastic cup or something in your wheel spokes of your bicycle to make it do that sound, kind of like the engine sound as we would call it as the kids. This is basically the equivalent of that. It's just a little plastic tab that sticks out into the wheel. The wheel has teeth on the inside so that when you roll it, it makes that awesome and not at all annoying sound right here, which is just so awesome. So yeah, open cockpit, 2 seats, a working trunk, engine sounds, and firing missiles. What more could you ask for? Back in 1989 when this movie came out and it was all about the merchandising, this was the toy to have, and I think it's an absolute must-have for any Batman or Batmobile collectors. And I think with that about does it for the ToyBiz 1989 Batman Batmobile. What did you think of this toy? Let me know down in the comments. Give me some thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share with your friends if you like what you see. As always, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.
The best display on never ends with our toy.